Why do you keep hiring salespeople who look like A players and perform like C players? Why do candidates crush the interview, then fail to generate revenue once they're on your team? Here's the problem. Your hiring process is built to reward the wrong signals: polished resumes and charming interviews, neither of which predict who will actually produce. I'm Dr. Chris Croner, author of Never Hire a Bad Salesperson Again and principal of SalesDrive, where we help companies hire salespeople with the drive to grow revenue. In this video, I'm going to show you how those two biases are quietly killing your revenue and what to use instead if you want salespeople who actually deliver. Most sales hiring advice isn't just flawed, it's systematically biased toward the wrong people, and it shows up in two places: the resume and the interview. When you hire the wrong salesperson, you don't just lose salary and training costs, you lose pipeline that never gets built, deals that never get pursued, and opportunities that never enter your funnel. That's why a bad hire can quietly cost hundreds of thousands in missed revenue. Most of those losses are invisible. You don't see the deals that never happen. You just see growth stall. Let's start with the resume. Most hiring processes assume more experience equals better performance. That assumption is wrong. Experience tells you what someone has been around. It doesn't tell you how they performed, and it doesn't tell you how they will perform for you. Candidates learn how to package experience, titles, tenure, company names. It looks convincing, but none of it measures what actually drives sales performance. Sales success is driven by drive, the willingness to prospect consistently, push through rejection, stay motivated without supervision, and keep going when results are uncertain. You can hire someone with 10 years of experience who spent 10 years avoiding the hardest parts of the job. They look qualified, they sound credible, they don't produce. A candidate with lots of experience at a larger company may have relied on their stronger brand recognition and collateral materials to warm up their cold calls. This is the distinction most companies miss. Can they sell, or will they sell? If your process relies on resumes, you can't answer that question. That's where the revenue loss begins. Now, look at the interview. This is where most decisions are made and where the biggest mistake happens. You think you're evaluating the candidate. The candidate is selling you. Strong candidates know exactly what to do. They build rapport, ask thoughtful questions, mirror your communication style, and position themselves as the solution. They run a sales process on you. Sales managers love this because it feels like proof. We all want to be sold. It's not proof. It's performance in a controlled environment. For many candidates, to be sure, this interview is the best sales call they will ever deliver for you. Once they're hired, the structure disappears, the pressure changes, the performance drops. This is why likability is dangerous. It creates confidence without evidence. You leave the interview thinking you like the person, instead of asking whether they'll produce. Those are completely different questions, and confusing them is expensive. These two biases reinforce each other. A strong resume creates a positive expectation. That expectation changes how you interpret the interview. You overlook weaknesses and justify concerns. You see what you expect to see. At that point, the decision's already made. Everything else just supports it. That is how companies consistently hire people who look right, sound right, and feel right, but still fail. So, if resumes don't work and interviews are biased, what does work? You have to measure what actually predicts performance. So, start with drive. Drive shows up when the pipeline's empty, when prospects say no, and when deals fall apart. That is when revenue is made or lost. So first, assess your candidate for drive. Then, use structured interviews to validate behavior, not impressions. Focus on what the candidate has actually done and how they handled real situations over time. The best predictor of future behavior is previous behavior. When you combine objective measurement with structured validation, hiring becomes predictable. Stop asking if the candidate looks the part. Stop asking if you like them, and start asking whether they have the traits required to generate revenue consistently. If you're serious about growth, you can't afford to keep hiring based on resumes and interviews alone. That approach is costing you revenue whether you realize it or not. So, click the link below and take the free drive test assessment. In minutes, you'll see the difference between candidates who can talk and candidates who will produce. Remember, hiring is not a people decision, it's a revenue decision at the end of the day. When you remove bias from your process, you don't just hire better, you build a team that performs. Again, I'm Dr. Chris Croner, and remember, it all starts with drive.